guys, this is John McNamara, host of Running Vegas. We're talking local sports, business, real estate. If you guys like what you see here today or listening in, please subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. I'm with my host, Mr.
Rodrigo. Always happy to be here. Excited to be here on a beautiful Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a good day.
Yeah, beautiful. Weather's getting much better. It's getting hot out here, so.
It is. We'll take it.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. So we have a lot to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
So this episode, we're talking about March Madness.
Yeah, there's a lot of madness going on around here, right?
Or Commission Settlement Madness.
Woo! Don't overwhelm me now, bro. Come on. that's a ton to take on right now. I'm the type of agent that's just letting it all happen.
Just let it happen.
I'll worry about it once it settles, huh?
Okay, well, it's going to be 3 months, so it's creeping up on us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a lot of good things to talk about today. We're going to dive into sports first, and we're going to talk about the NAR settlement. Super excited to go over today. So, big surprise, UNLV. We made the tournament.
Woo! NIT, baby.
NIT tournament.
Yes.
Okay. Little surprised on this one.
Why is that? Give me the breakdown.
I didn't think they were making any tournament.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Pretty cool, though. UNLV, 10 years since they've, give or take, since they've been in a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple things I find interesting. They accepted the invite. That might be good for Kruger for keeping his job.
Yeah.
This man, every time I hear him in his interviews, sounds super confident, like this young team is coming back.
Yeah.
You know, and D-Don Thomas, he crushed this year. I'm assuming he has a potential NIL deal.
Oh, yeah.
That would be worth a lot. So maybe UNLV can pull something together, keep him there. Maybe they already have something worked out.
Yeah.
Nobody actually knows. But if you can keep this nucleus, and maybe that's the plan. If we can ride in next year, we'll see how they do in the NIT. But we got Princeton tonight.
Who is Princeton, man?
They're in the Ivy League.
I never heard of him.
Smart kid school.
Makes sense why I haven't heard of him.
I didn't get him. Not even apply.
Yeah, Princeton is a favorite with the opening lines. Well, that game will be tonight at 5 p.m.
Yes.
Pacific time for you guys on the East Coast tuning in. But yeah, Princeton's the line keeps going up. A favorite in them. They were favored by 2 points. Now they're up to 3.5. If they get up to 4, man, I'm gonna lay something down on UNLV plus 4, no doubt.
Okay.
I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah. Heads up, too. There's a watch party at Parkway Tavern for the game as well, if you guys want to check it out. Yeah, so it's interesting because I really liked this matchup at first because this is probably one of the most athletic teams I've seen in about 10 years. So the issue, though, is Lou Rod, he is out. He's not going to be in this game. He's one of our best defensive players, if not the best defensive player on the team.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's confirmed or not, but one of the Boone twins, he's got like an ankle injury, a foot injury, something's going on. So we may be down 2 of our starters that play a pretty pivotal role, and it'll be interesting to see how they play.
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting. I've been keeping up with the updates. I did not see any of them out, but usually the application I use lies to me, so I can foresee that. But yeah, we'll know more closer to game time for sure.
An application of lies. Blame it on your application.
Hey, I always do, right?
Well, we'll see too. 'Cause so Boone, if you remember, too, San Diego State, he gave it a try too, and then he seems like he's a tough kid.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna give it a go.
Yeah, I can see that.
So hopefully he's healthy. He's had, probably about 4 days of PT, so he's probably seeing if he can run the tables tonight. So hopefully he can play. He's a very pivotal player. We're rooting for the Rebs. Let's finish the year out strong, and should be exciting if they win the next 2 games. They got to get through Princeton first, which is obviously a tough matchup.
Yeah.
But they'll be playing in Madison Square Garden for that Final Four for the NIT.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great. That's a big stage. So.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of teams in the past that they don't make the NCAA tournament, and then they go out the year before. They have younger players. They play in the NIT, play well. It creates a lot of momentum going to the next year.
Right.
I've seen that multiple times. I think, to be honest with you, UNLV got very lucky. NIT is not as considered as big of a tournament now like it used to be. They got a lot of teams that declined the invite. They'd rather recruit
Yeah.
Work on transfer portal, all that. I like that Kevin wants to play, though.
Of course. I mean, keep it going, and at the same time, just getting experience for this young team, right? I think that's what matters the most. I think going up against San Diego State, Nevada, we were just missing that bit of experience towards the end. Yeah.
For sure, yeah. It's a young team, and it's always hard to go from West Coast to East Coast. That's a lot of travel. You're playing in Jersey.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good test for them, and we'll see how they play, and we'll give you guys a recap next week.
Yeah, it should be a home game for Princeton then, right? Maybe.
Yep, it's in Princeton.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
All right.
Well, do you have any predictions for this March Madness Final Four? Or who do you see taking it, overall?
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't fill my bracket.
Oh, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
Got to hold you accountable to those things.
I appreciate the accountability. Yeah. Way to put me on the spot on our own podcast.
It's okay.
Rod.
It's all right. I'll let it slide this time.
Okay, thank you.
But I will share with you my Final Four.
Okay.
I believe I do have Purdue against Houston, and then North Carolina against San Diego State.
Awesome.
In the Final Four. Final two would be North Carolina against Houston, and I have Houston taking it all. So
Great.
They're a powerful team.
I like all those teams. I haven't looked at the tournament itself, but if I was going to do it, and now this is what probably half of the people are going to pick. It's UConn, because that team is just what they did last year, how they dominated in the tournament.
Yeah.
I think they're obviously a team beat now to win it twice in a row. Incredibly hard. Nobody, like last year, I think teams kind of took them for granted a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, UConn obviously, and I'm sure that is not a hot take. I'm sure like a lot of people picked UConn. Obviously, sleeper Florida. I've seen a couple Florida games this year, and they're putting up 80, 90, 100 points in the SEC.
Wow.
So they're an interesting team to me. I could see them making some noise. I love the San Diego State pick. Yeah. I hope that happens. So let's talk about this. Mountain West, 6 teams in. Ooh. We've been talking about it this whole podcast.
Yeah.
They may get 16. New Mexico runs the tables, wins the tournament. We got 16 teams.
Yeah. Crazy.
And what's the chatter after they get in? Mountain West got screwed, right? San Diego State, I believe, got a 5th seed, and everybody else was like 10th or lower, give or take.
Yeah,
right?
True.
So I thought it was interesting, and I'm not surprised. Typically, the Mountain West has never done favorable, for the exception of last year, San Diego State making a national championship game. I think San Diego State made Sweet 16. So they have had success in the tournament. It shows with their seeding.
Yeah.
We're like the 5th seed in the Mountain West, and they have the 5th seed, and everybody else has a 10th seed. Super interesting, right? But that's typically what the NCAA tournament does. So, UNLV's not in. What I'm rooting for is Mountain West teams to win. Shout out to Colorado State kicking butt versus Virginia last night. That was an ACC team.
Oh, yeah, that was impressive. That was madness. And you got Boise tonight. Boise.
Like the pun there.
Boise tonight against Colorado.
Yeah.
The other Colorado, the one we don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like any Colorados, but but yes. So we're rooting for Mountain West. Fun fact: even in the first 4 rounds, if you win those games, you get a share for revenue. So Colorado, not that nobody cares about that. Mountain West cares about those shares.
Yeah,
though.
no, it's important.
So it's super important. If they can, here's my thought. I know you and I were texting the side before the pod, getting ready for it. If they can run the tables, maybe half of those teams making the second round, one team gets in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Next year is going to look a lot different if we get 3, 4, 5 teams into the tournament. And this is what I'm hoping for. Being a UNLV homer, I'm rooting for Mountain West. The Pac-12 is gone next year.
Yeah.
Mountain West has an incredible opportunity to be the conference in the West Coast.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a power conference by any means, but maybe back to those old Mountain West days when I was here. I'm watching Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard. We had some great basketball tournaments.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids, they'll go to these power teams. They don't play. They come to the Mountain West. Back in the day, Mountain West was really tough. It was physical. And it got away for like the last 7 years. And it feels like that's starting to come back again. So
Definitely.
I would love for Mountain West to run the tables, have some success.
Yeah, I could see us having good success. I had a New Mexico advance a couple of rounds. I can see Colorado State putting up a good fight. Nevada's up against a tough one to start off. Nevada against Dayton, but I could see them pulling it out. I mean, we're very big guys, tough teams, man. So we have a lot of weigh-ins. Yeah. So it'll be exciting. Yeah, I can see that though. I agree with you, man. Mountain West just becoming more powerful day by day.
Yeah. It'll be interesting because the next 2 years, Pac-12, Pac-2 now. They have to make a decision. I think they're going to try to reestablish a Pac-10 or Pac-12. They're probably going to take some form of the Mountain West and incorporate Oregon State and Washington State. But there's a market, at least for basketball, there is a market. And there's also a market, now that football is expanding, whoever wins the Mountain West is going to be an interesting team to potentially get a seed in the football playoffs, too. They're not going to get more than one seed, but there's, I think, opportunity for a decent media deal out there. So if they can play some good basketball, football runs, we all know, football runs it with all the money.
Right.
But if Mountain West can be the Big East of the West Coast in terms of basketball, there is value, and that would be really fun to watch in the future.
Yeah. I mean, I can see us getting some season tickets, right? Gonna be attending all these games or whatnot.
For sure.
Real fun. Yeah.
If D-Don's coming back next year, I am all about going to games next year. That guy's a future NBA player.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
That is easily Anthony Bennett. I would say D-Don is more impressive.
Yeah.
To be 6'1", 175 pounds. I mean, Anthony Bennett was, I don't know, he was like 6'8", 6'9". He was 260. He was a physical specimen.
Yeah.
He dominated. It was very impressive. But D-Don to be, just a floor general. Maybe it's because UNLV. 15 years. I haven't seen a good point guard. I think the last guy I saw, it was kind of decent. I can't remember his name now. Or Zero, but he wasn't as good as D-Don. But we haven't had a point guard, and this guy is just a floor general. He won Freshman of the Year, and to be honest with you, I mean, he probably should have been first team Mountain West. I think you could make a case that he could have been Player of the Year. That's how impressive his season was. But yeah, if he comes back, I'm sure they'll be able to. They got to bring in some scorers. If they could bring in a wing or two that could score, it seems like the front core, Rob Whaley, bring the J.C. Cherry coming in. That kid's like 6'11", 250. Hill, power forward from Oklahoma, towards ACL this year. He'll be back. I like Brooklyn Hicks as a freshman. If they can bring in some wings and score around D-Don, this team is super interesting next year.
Yeah.
And as we know, I know myself, I always see a huge jump from freshman year to like sophomore year. And that's typically the biggest jump you're going to see. So saw with Patrick McCall, that was pretty impressive. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Oh yeah, no, lots of good stuff. So
yeah. Cool.
Happy about that.
Shout out to ourselves, the MAC team. We got a watch party at Whiskey down by Legion Stadium from 1 to 4. If you guys want to come check it out, get a beer and drink with us. We're going to be watching games there tomorrow. And also Lady Rebels. Congrats to them. Got the 10th seed. I think they should have got a higher seed.
Oh, yeah.
But I believe they're playing Creighton. So let's go 2-0 against Creighton this year.
Yeah, well, they'll handle it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking very strong. So tell me a little bit more about what's on your neck, bro.
Oh, this right here?
I could tell it was kind of weighing you down, bro.
Oh, I didn't feel it.
I saw your shoulders.
I didn't even feel it.
Calm down, man. You've been wearing that everywhere or what?
Maybe. I don't even know. This is how it feels being national champion every single day, baby.
Forgot it was even there.
So the team did Spartan this weekend. It was a lot of fun. You did something way more impressive, than Spartan.
Oh, no.
Mr. Rodrigo did an LA marathon, 26.2 miles.
Don't forget about the 0.2, baby.
Absolutely not.
Oh, for sure.
That's the hardest 0.2 of your life, I bet.
Oh, so. Yeah. Don't remind me. It was a battle.
Tell us about it.
LA. Brutally honest, probably the worst track I've ever ran. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful route. It was a beautiful day. Almost about, I heard there was close to 27,000 people running the full marathon that day. So it was just very crowded, constantly dodging people. And these LA streets, they're not the best. They're not the newest. So constantly, stepping in this level, stepping in cracks, stepping in all sorts of holes. And it was just a constant battle trying to keep your body moving the right way. I heard that about 6,000 people didn't finish.
Oh, wow.
So it was great, yeah. But glad to finish. Definitely a battle. Not what I was expecting. I've ran some long distance before, up to 16, 18 miles. I've done a marathon before as well. But man, my body was giving up by mile 8. My body was just like, nope, you're done. You're done here. It became just battling it out all day. It was tough. I had a few moments where I thought I was not going to be able to finish due to the cramps, everything that was going on. I couldn't really keep my body together. Every step I took was just, your whole body goes into shock. So, interesting, but glad I finished. Yeah.
Well, congrats. That's very impressive.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Congrats to you guys.
Thank you.
I wish I would have got some recognition for what I did, but, it doesn't work that way. I let my ego go. I don't try to bring that ego aside.
Yeah, it sounds like it was Battle of LA in your mind. I think you did actually win something, but we can't show it on the pod.
Yeah, we can't show it. It's invisible, It's just a personal recognition in the mind.
So, we were both going to wear our, little trophy, whatever the heck you want to call these things. But we got a green screen. Surprise, surprise. And
I told him I just wanted to be very transparent with him.
Yeah.
I'm all about...
He's like the invisible man.
I'm all about transparency around
Where'd he go?
So doesn't need to.
Hey, we can't ruin the illusion of this podcast.
I don't need to show the world nothing.
Everybody thinks we're in the high rise overlooking the strip. So
hey, we're on top of the world right now.
Queens Ridge right now. Definitely not.
Okay, Summerlin.
Hey, I really like what you wore today, by the way, too. You got really good taste.
Yeah, same to you, bro. Where'd you get that shirt? I don't see that color very often.
Yeah. Got to keep up with you. Who wore it best? We're going to do a poll on Instagram. You better pick me.
You guys know what side to go on if you want to have a good time.
I pick Rodrigo. So.
All right, so what's going on with this other madness?
Madness
in real
talking
estate.
About battles. The battle of commission settlement. 418 million settlement with NAR. So big news in real estate. And we just want to talk about a little bit, because I've had a lot of clients, I'm sure you too, calling about it. We've had agents that are concerned about the shift, and we just want to kind of shed light on it. And this isn't fully done, so we're talking about this. Not everything is completely settled, so I want to pre-pace this.
Yeah.
But from what we understand is there is going to be a shift of how buyer commissions are paid.
And us in the MAC team, we love shifts.
Yeah, we do. So this will be like my 57th shift in real estate.
Can you guess how old he is? But no, yeah, it's funny. I don't know. We had a client back in November, and I've been kind of dealing with this with sellers since back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been to me, now it's all blowing up, and now I'm just like, man, like. This has been old news, right?
Right. Yeah, this has been going on since 2017, so we've been very well aware of it. I didn't think it would happen this soon.
Right,
I thought we were
true.
probably a year away. I love that it's getting figured out sooner rather than later. Let's just, let's tackle this. The market needs to figure this out. And I think we want to shed light on what that means. So basically, buyers will either have to, compensate the buyer's agent directly. And I think one thing that was good news is, so there's not a complete, because this could have gone a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Is the sellers now will have the ability to help buyers with closing costs for that compensation.
Yeah.
So it's just how the money is transferred, if that makes sense. So it's not, I'm sure some of you out there have been reading headlines, the standard commission of real estate per CNN, Yahoo Finance. This is not what it was about actually at all.
No,
it's
right.
just there's going to be a change of how commissions are paid.
Yeah, structure change, a lot more negotiation, and we got to really show our worth now, right?
Yeah.
But it's we've been trying to do that for a long time, and I think we can create a lot of wins out of this.
Absolutely. And I think that, so let's dive into it. Like who is, and we don't know, there's not a crystal ball to this. I think in the next year or two, we're going to be back on this pod talking about it. It'll be fun to watch this pod and go, these were our predictions.
Right.
And then what actually really happens, right?
Yeah.
But I think some people this is going to be good for. Some people it will not.
Yeah.
And at this change, every industry, there's a shift, there's change. Mm-hmm. You can either adapt and take advantage of your opportunities, or you can, unfortunately, not. So.
Right.
I think unfortunately, and this is my biggest concern. I know I was on this pod a month ago talking about this. My biggest concern was the people are going to get hurt the most in this is going to be the first-time home buyers.
Home buyers for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already overwhelmed with what they have to do, applying for the loan, if they're financing, down payment, and looking at interest rates, all closing costs now that could be very complex to a lot of new home buyers.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like, homeowners or home buyers, first-time home buyers especially, will be affected the most.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think we'll get creative as we have, with every kind of shift that we faced. It's going to be continuing. It's going to be about continuing to educate these home buyers.
Yeah.
I can foresee a lot. I kind of want to start. I don't know, we've always kind of been about this, but home buyer workshops where they can come in and really get a breakdown. So it's going to be up to us, to ultimately educate them, guide them, and kind of remind them that, hey, this could still be a benefit to us, how we make it work. We can still take advantage of the situation here. It's not the end of the world.
Yep.
What are your thoughts? Who is it going to hurt? Who is it going to benefit?
Well, for definitely first-time home buyers, and to be honest with you, buyers will always still have a path. I know when I bought my first house, though, I didn't have any money. I barely got in, and unfortunately, that's what they weren't, fortunately, that's what they were talking about with the settlement when it all came down. But yeah, there'll just be other avenues. And to be honest with you, I mostly focused on listings the first probably 15 years of my career, and I've done more buyer deals in the last 4 to 5. And the reason that occurred was actually the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because people were calling me up, John, I can't get agents to call me back. Nobody wants to show homes because there's 20 offers on them. And I felt confident enough that I could get the deal done for them. And I was probably doing at least a deal a month during the pandemic when everything had 22 offers on it in an hour. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see something, it's not going to be the same. I think we're going to see something similar. Because right now, per this agreement as well, and again, it's still pending, buyer agents will need from a client to sign a buyer brokerage per MLS, buyer brokerage agreement to show homes. So agents aren't going to be just running out there looking at a home last minute.
Right.
It creates more value now I think if you're in the industry, I think this is ultimately a good thing for top producers or people that really take this business, the full-timers, the people that take this serious, because the reality is now you're a buyer. You didn't care before.
Yeah.
You don't pay that commission. As long as somebody's going to show me a house, great. That's all you care about. But now if you got to pay it, or you need somebody who's going to negotiate on your behalf, you're going to want the best agent possible.
Yeah.
So if anything, the top producers are going to, and the listing agents of the world are most likely going to benefit from this. And we will. I mean, a lot of people are predicting that 25-30% of agents and dues are going to go up.
Yeah.
I love how NAR said we're going to keep rates the same for 2020. They were already locked in. You can't change them. 2025, I will put money they go up.
Oh, yeah. Assessments our way.
I don't think NAR did a good job. I don't think anybody agrees they did a good job. They really let down our industry.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be innovation from this. There'll be other, we're going to see some positive shits ultimately for this in the future. Mm-hmm. I think about, I remember my dad going through 9/11. I was in 2008, 2009, I was in the market. pandemic, and now this. Ultimately, those are big shifts in the market, and a lot of time the top producers or people that adapted did really well.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see that again.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, because especially if you're a top producer and 25, 30. I mean, Mike Ferry, I don't mean to quote Mike, but Mike Ferry's been talking about this forever, where he thinks like half of the agents should be out, because it's the part-timers. They do their deals here and there. The reality is, if dues double in the next couple of years, and there's, and if you're not highly skilled to get a buyer brokerage agreement, basically just kind of listing agreement,
Yeah.
you're going to be out of this. Only 96% of agents last in the first 18 months. That probably goes up to 98%, in the next couple of years. So I think overall it's going to be a good shift for our market, because honestly, I would love for our industry as a whole, all of us, to get better from this.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I think it will be a good thing. The next year or two, we're going to figure some things out. The market will always figure itself out.
Right.
So that's my take.
That's a good take, man. I agree 1,000%. Happy to be part of the team. We've always been listing based. We don't shy away from negotiating. We don't shy away from contracts. So we're going to see those agents hurt a little bit when they have to, stand tall and kind of ask them what's theirs, or get done what needs to happen. It's not just about opening the lockbox now and smiling and letting them tour the house, right? So a lot more negotiation, confrontation, having direct conversations, being fierce. A lot of tools that, man, it seems like we've been doing our homework all along.
Yeah.
I wonder who must be leading this team.
We've been preparing for this for 19 years.
Jeez.
So. Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think if you're in Las Vegas, this is good news too. And I can understand like the markets where everybody kind of stays there and the upsides, downsides, they stay in their homes for 10, 20 years. That's going to be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Speaking to and most people that are watching this are probably going to be from Las Vegas. If you're a Las Vegas agent, the good news is most of our buyers are from out of state, don't understand this market. On top of that, we are not an attorney state. We handle all the paperwork. You have a lot of value, and that value is still going to be there. So if you're an agent out there that needs help with your scripts and skills, or you want to talk about this with us, reach out to me or Rodrigo. We're here to help.
Yeah.
And if you're a client too, reach out to us and you want to understand this a little bit more. There's a lot of information to intake, and I'm sure over the next 3 months, we're going to be talking a little bit more and more about this as more details come out. But yeah, it's a very interesting time in the marketplace, and ultimately, I think it's going to be a positive one. So
Yeah.
for everybody,
1,000% agree. So
yeah,
excited.
great.
Yeah.
All right, man.
You got anything else for the people at home?
I think that's it. I think we're going to wrap this up. I want to thank you for being on.
Of course. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Got the best co-host in the business, as you guys know.
Best host.
Thank you.
Hostess with the what? With
Mostess. This is Ron in Vegas. You guys take care of yourselves today. Have a great day.